President Carter was a very smart guy, and people who knew him would say he was a very decent man, especially for a politician. He was the kind of guy that many Americans would say we want in the White House. Someone who studies the issues in depth and then does what he thinks is right, regardless of whether or not it might happen to be popular at the moment. But Carter was done in partially by circumstances that were largely out of his control. He was kind of a victim of bad timing and got blamed for the problems of that era. But he was also a victim of his limitations as a politician. He had no experience in Washington, D.C. before he got the job as president. And he wasn't the greatest salesman in the world. Leadership is not just about understanding the issues and coming up with good policies. You also have to sell your ideas to Congress and to the American people, because you can't really lead effectively if people don't see a reason to follow you. Ronald Reagan, who followed Jimmy Carter, and who was generally seen as a much more successful president, did not study issues in as much depth as Carter, and I think you could make the case was not as smart as Jimmy Carter. But Ronald Reagan was a very effective salesman who could lay out his ideas and convince the American people to follow.